Welcome to industrial timber, where mobile sawmills, firewood processors, hydraulic splitters, chippers, skidders, and heavy wood processing systems turn raw logs into usable timber with speed, pressure, and precision. For woodworking enthusiasts, a mobile sawmill is one of the most useful tools you can own. Imagine cutting timber right in your own backyard instead of hauling logs to a large commercial sawmill. That changes everything. You save time, reduce transport effort, and gain full control over how each piece of wood is processed. For small workshops, farms, and independent builders, a mobile sawmill is not just convenient. It is freedom, efficiency, and production power in one compact system. Think splitting wood is still a back-breaking job? Not with the ALKO LHS 6000. This vertical log splitter is built to take the strain out of firewood work. It handles logs up to 50 centimeters and powers through tough hardwoods with clean, controlled force. Instead of fighting every round by hand, the machine cuts them into 4 neat pieces with far less effort. And because it runs without fumes, it can be used indoors, making it ready for year-round firewood production, no matter the weather outside. Then comes the Croco log splitter, and this thing looks like a serious beast. It takes rough, twisted, difficult logs and turns them into clean firewood in seconds. The way it attaches to an excavator makes it even more impressive, because now the machine has reach, pressure, and mobility all working together. This is not just a splitter, it is an excavator-powered wood processing weapon. For anyone who loves logging, machinery, or watching tough wood get destroyed by hydraulic force, the Croco is exactly the kind of machine that grabs attention. Pezzolato's high-performance firewood processor shows a different kind of strength. You would not expect one machine to be this versatile, but it is built for large logs, difficult wood, and demanding production work. What makes it stand out is not only size or power, it is precision. Every cut feels controlled, every movement has purpose, and the whole machine works like a reliable partner in the field. That is what serious wood processing needs: power that does not lose accuracy. If loud, heavy hydraulic splitters are not your style, this electric firewood splitter gives a cleaner alternative. The quiet motor cuts down on noise, but the machine still brings enough force to get the work done properly. It proves that power does not always need to be loud. A good electric splitter can be smooth, practical, efficient, and easier to live with, especially for users who want consistent performance without the constant roar of traditional equipment. When people and machines work together correctly, the result can be impressive. Human judgment controls the setup, while machinery delivers the force. That combination is what turns difficult wood processing jobs into smooth, repeatable production. The results speak for themselves: cleaner cuts, faster handling, and much less wasted effort. Then we see a log cutting stand that looks simple but works brilliantly. Sometimes the best tools are not complicated. This stand makes the job easier, safer, and more organized. It holds the wood where it needs to be, reduces awkward handling, and lets the operator work with better control. That is practical design. No unnecessary complexity, just a smart solution to a common problem. Next, a homemade firewood splitter built from a hydraulic press and old scrap metal proves that industrial thinking does not always require a factory. It may not win any beauty contests, but it gets the job done. The build is rough, direct, and effective. That is the appeal. Someone saw usable parts, understood the force needed, and turned junk metal into a working machine. The results are impressive because the idea is simple and the execution works. But in real machine work, details like stability, current flow, and grip make a major difference. Then we get another DIY tree cutting project, and honestly, you can see the risk coming from far away. Homemade ideas can be clever, but tree work is not forgiving. Once wood starts moving, the situation can change faster than expected. That is why good equipment, proper planning, and safe positioning matter more than confidence. To improve a homemade wood splitter with a stand, stability has to come first. Converting the stand into a triangular shape gives the machine a stronger base and reduces unwanted movement during operation. Using a 100 microfarad capacitor helps stabilize current and support smoother performance. Welding a small metal plate to the end of the spring can also help prevent logs from slipping, improving safety and control during use. Small upgrades like these may look minor, Then comes a nostalgic moment. Watching modern firewood machines brings back memories of splitting wood the old way with a maul, wedges, and sweat. Red oak was the kind of wood that fought back all day just to produce a small stack. Seeing a machine like the Alpha 6 now makes you wonder where this kind of equipment was when people really needed it. It does not erase the value of old school work, but it definitely shows how far firewood production has come. The LKT-81 Turbo brings forestry history into motion. Watching it pull almost 3 cords of poplar like it is nothing shows how much skidders changed timber hauling. Old lumberjacks had horses, manpower, and brutal physical effort. Now machines like this bring traction, pulling force, and decades of forestry innovation into the job. Built in Slovakia and trusted for years, LKT skidders are part of a long line of machines designed to move wood where ordinary vehicles cannot. A hydraulic tractor-powered splitter can feel intimidating at first. One bad angle, and the piston rod can bend quickly. But once the operator understands the machine, the process becomes smooth and even satisfying. The key is control. You cannot just force the wood any way you want. You have to feel the pressure, align the log properly, and let the machine do the work. When it is handled correctly, it becomes a serious game changer. Of course, everyone has bad days. But in machine work, the question is, how bad is too bad? One mistake around timber, hydraulics, or moving steel can become expensive or dangerous fast. That is why every setup deserves attention before the machine starts working. The Lima shear is another strong tool for handling substantial timber. With a solid clamping mechanism and a high-grade cutting edge, it breaks down large logs into manageable sections with controlled force. The design is simple, which makes it easier to use and maintain, but it still delivers the strength required for serious timber handling. For anyone needing a reliable high-performance shear, this machine makes a strong case. Then the Hockey Pilka 2X Auto shows what modern firewood production can look like. Logs go in, the saw cuts them cleanly, and the splitter divides them into neat firewood pieces. It turns a difficult manual process into a structured workflow. What makes it impressive is how it adapts to different wood types while keeping the process smooth. For firewood producers, that kind of consistency matters. Chopping firewood by hand can punish your back, shoulders, and arms. A vertical splitter changes the entire experience. With strong construction and an efficient hydraulic system, it handles tough logs while saving the operator time and energy. Instead of sore muscles and slow progress, you get controlled splitting power and steady output. Then comes another homemade surprise, A wood chipper built from old parts, effort, and practical thinking. No factory, no huge cost, no polished commercial design, just ingenuity. A few salvaged components become a machine capable of taking on real wood waste. That is the kind of industrial creativity that deserves attention because it proves useful machines can come from resourcefulness, not just big budgets. The Cord King M2030 is built for serious firewood processing. 20-inch diameter logs are no problem, and splitting in roughly 5 seconds means production moves fast. For anyone handling firewood at scale, that kind of cycle speed can change the return on investment quickly. Faster processing, less labor, and consistent output make this machine a strong option for serious operations. Then a simple log holder proves that not every revolutionary tool needs an engine. With metal guide bars and a sturdy treated timber frame, it turns an awkward job into something manageable. You can load different lengths of timber, keep them positioned properly, and work almost as if you had an extra pair of hands. For anyone working independently in the forest or backyard, that kind of support is more useful than it looks. The Serra Africa XC160 moves into full industrial territory. Built for heavy-duty wood cutting, it can handle logs up to 160 centimeters in diameter. That puts it in a different class from ordinary firewood tools. With a strong frame, controlled cutting, and professional-grade safety in mind, this machine is made for factory setups and demanding timber processing operations. For professionals who need strength, capacity, and precision, this is the kind of equipment that earns its place. Finally, we see a heavy-duty wood chipper built for maximum efficiency. This is not an average chipper chewing through small yard waste. It is a precision machine designed to transform tons of difficult wood material into a uniform, valuable product. Large, messy, hard-to-handle wood waste becomes processed material ready for reuse. That is industrial timber processing at its best, taking raw, unwieldy material and turning it into something clean, consistent, and useful.